Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to PSGL. We are here tonight for PSF2. It is round 8 of the championship as we take in the Belgian Grand Prix from the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. My name, as you can tell, is Mr. James Head, and I'm going to be taking to the stream, of course, as always, on a Monday night. And coupling up with me tonight, of course, it is Mr. Evan Dalton. Evan, how you doing? If he's here, which I think he is, I hope. I think his Wi-Fi has died. But Evan is here anyways. Evan is alongside me in the commentary box. He will be alongside me very soon. His internet has been playing up just before we came live, and that's why you can only see me and the solo face cam, which is not too bad. It's not too bad at all. But obviously, with Evan having a few technical issues at this moment in time, that means I'm going to be taking you to the stream for now until he rejoins me, which I'm sure will not be too far away at all. Let's have a look then at the driver standings coming into tonight as well. And Evan has said to me on Discord, by the way, that the Wi-Fi has gone again. He'll try and get back on as soon as possible. So there we are. If not, then you're stuck with me for the next hour and a half, which I guess is not too bad. Let's have a look though, as I was saying, at the driver standings, of course. It was Kian who took the win last time out in Portugal. Last week, of course, for round 7 of the championship. Volakongan finished in second. Stefano there finished in third. And that actually now, with Steph being promoted to F2, brings about a really close battle between Namsko and Volakongan for the current lead of the championship. Namsko leads the way on 61 points. He's currently clear of Steph, who's obviously moved up to PSF1 in second on 56. Volakongan there in third on 52, with Stefano in fourth on 37, along with Kian also tied on for fourth on 37. Knut there in 6th on 36, Ari 7th on 28, then Axie in 8th on 25, Devon in 9th on 21, and Dino there in 10th on 20 points. As you can tell there, that's Evan Dalton leaving the call there with his Wi-Fi being rebooted. Schumacher, Ron, Facilo, Ferenc, Mitchie top 15, Noah, Ferry, Rowan, Ryman, Footsfab top 20, and then Justbrand and Dark have all scored points this season, so they are 21st and 22nd position. Let's have a look then at the constructor standings as well, while we get, of course, into it. And it is a very, very close affair in the constructors. I never saw the standings actually before we came alive, so it's a shock to me. See 6 points separating 5 constructors, which is mad. Keane, of course, took the win for Aston Martin last time out. That's why they're up there in 5th position. But Alpine currently lead the way on 63 points. Haas in 2nd on 62. Mercedes in 3rd on 61. Then Red Bull in 4th, along with Aston Martin, also on 57 points. McLaren in 6th on 42. Alfa Romeo in 7th on 41. Ferrari in 8th on 29. AlphaTauri in 9th on 24. And Williams in 10th on 18 points. And luckily for you guys, I hope he is back. Coupling up with me tonight in the comment box, it is Mr. Evan Dalton. Evan, how are you doing?
Hello, everybody. That's the worst time ever to disconnect. I've had 2 Wi-Fi incidents this evening, so I do hope they stop. But welcome along, folks, to PSGL F2. James, of course, has shown you the championship standings, and it's bound to be a fantastic race here this evening around Spa-Francorchamps.
Yeah, definitely so. Indeed, obviously, if there's more internet issues than when we go along, then I'm sure, at least on my end, hopefully everything is going to be okay. Evan can just drop in and drop out whenever he likes, which hopefully is going to be the same as Love Island tonight as well. And we are quickly getting, of course, into the race at this stage. But 7 kilometres and then 4.3 mile, 19 turns, of course, waiting our track here at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. 2 DRS zones, 1 down the start finish straight, of course, and then 1 up the Camel straight in towards turn number 6, 7, and 8 at Lacombe Chicane. And of course, Evan, it is a historic track, the longest, of course, on the F1 calendar, shaped like a dinosaur. Hopefully, Dino might come out on top tonight.
Yeah, it's a really, really old circuit in terms of motorsport context. First raced in Formula 1 in 1950, in the first season won by Juan Manuel Fangio, but it was first used in 1925 for motor racing. It has been a track that has almost always been on the calendar from a PSGL perspective, and it's guaranteed to be an absolutely excellent race. You can certainly get drama, there's weather involved, we can get safety cars, and it's bound to be, well, I say it's bound to be an exciting race. It's also bound to be a pretty dramatic race, because we are getting right into the business end of the season, and this race could make or break a championship for some of these guys.
Definitely so, yeah, definitely so. We are just now transitioning over into the lobby, as you can now see on your screen, and First thing to note, it's beautiful blue sky and sunshine, which is exactly what we want here in Belgium. It's going to be fantastic, of course, to see who is going to be out on top tonight. We have got a new driver as well, which I've really spied there, right at the bottom. Shazoo Aurelien, I hope I've pronounced that right. I could pronounce it in French, but I'll probably screw it up. Aurelien there in for the Ferrari team, of course, is part of the Shazoo team. He's alongside Footspab tonight. I haven't seen him drive before, so a total newbie to me. How do you think he'll get on in his first race?
Well, it's a bit of a weird time to come into a season, really. It's kind of a difficult one, but also an excellent opportunity because if he performs, there's not much pressure on him. It's the middle of the season, certainly not going to be fighting for a championship, but he still has pressure to perform because there is championship challenges around, and what we've seen sometimes in PSGL, and I'm not naming absolutely any names, but sometimes someone might go in for a debut and cause some implications in the championship fight, and obviously he doesn't want to do that. No one wants to do that, so there is a little bit of pressure, but also an excellent opportunity. In terms of performance, well, I've never seen him drive either, James, so I have not got a clue.
Exactly. So he is one of the first guys out on track. Actually, he's coming down the Camel Straight right at this moment in time. And looks like actually we're getting quite a lot of drivers out in the early part of the session.
James, we're idiots. James, that's AXA. He's the new PSN.
Oh my god.
We didn't do our research.
He's changed teams, is what I will say, because he was previously FBR, now part of the Shazoo team, so congratulations to him on moving. Completely caught us for chips, as you can tell, in terms of us in commentary, us thinking he's a new driver, but actually, of course, has already won this season in Britain. Stefano, though, was the first man out on track, and he's hoping, of course, for a very good race, of course, indeed, tonight in the Alfa Romeo. Team Alfa Romeo, of course, up there in the constructor standings, along with Schumacher, who's also going to be there as part of the pairing for the Alfa Romeo team. Let's ride on board, then, through the left-hander on board with Stefano. I'm not going to get over that, to be honest. Between
yeah, that's a howler.
Really, that is an absolute howler. That is going to be, I'm sure, cut to short a little bit later on. But Stefano now down into the right hand of La Source at turn number 1, and then of course all the way down this old pit straight, the old starting blocks actually for the Belgian Grand Prix. Coming to the left hand of turn 2, that's a Rouge, and that's Radion actually at the top of the hill through turn 3. Now through Kemmel Corner on the run down the Kemmel Straight, Dutch corner on the left hand side there on the track as Stefano now comes to the end of the first sector split, and it's a 29.8 to start off the night, which is not too bad at all through the first sector. Coming through Les Combes, now through the right-hander of Malmedy, which is on the run down, of course, in towards Bruxelles, the capital of Belgium, of course. Part of the Sideman Sunday as well last night. Stefano coming through the right-hander of Bruxelles in towards Jackie X corner at turn number 9. Really screwing his way coming out of X corner. Now on the run down in towards Pouan. It's looked very, very good from Stefano so far. Right on the limit, right there in terms of the lap time. This is looking good so far from him. As now comes through Pouan in toward the Fania chicane, which is the next one up on track. 50 metre board taken there. Snaps the car on the inside curb, riding too much curb, and Stefano's off on the grass.
Yeah, not good. It was an all right lap so far for Stefano, but not really good to make a mistake. You don't have many laps around Spa. You have to try and make them count.
Yeah, you do indeed. Stefano as well is just preparing up, or just backing up that lap, obviously, after his spin. Further up the field as well, Schumacher, I know, was on a lap. He's coming through in toward Blanchemont right now, out on tracks. He comes to the left-hander of Blanchemont right now as he comes in toward the bus stop chicane. It's looking good, though, from Schumacher's perspective at this stage. Of course, I think there's an Aston Martin ahead of the field as well. Might be Kean coming toward the line on a lap, and it is indeed Kean who's on a lap. 42.3, currently quickest, and he will remain quickest because Schumacher's 4/10 off him.
Yeah, good lap there from Keane. Rowan goes to second as Will Murdoch is going to cross the line as well. Good to have Will back with us. He's going to go to second, so he will beat a few guys there new to a poor race last week in Portimao. It goes to fourth, just ahead of Schumacher. Next across the line then, it is FER Harry, who again did not have the race he really wanted in Portimao. There is the man who we didn't quite know, but that is AXA, who's gone to second position, currently eighth in the championship. So he'll be hoping to have some sort of an implication on it because he still is in with a chance to win it.
Namsko's purple in the middle sector, 114.2, I should say, in the middle sector from Namsko. Not looking too bad at all, but Aurelian there going second, as you say. It is going to take quite a while to get used to that name, that is for sure. But 5 minutes gone in qualifying. Keen out on top, Aurelian there in second, Will Murdoch there in third. Namsko, though, looks like he's on an absolute flyer at this stage. Coming in toward the right hand of the bus stop chicane, now to the left on the exit of the bus stop chicane. This is going to be quickest, I am sure. Namsko to the line. Doesn't go quickest, goes second.
No. Okay, so Namsko not quite getting up there. Of course, it's getting very interesting in terms of the championship. Namsko still leads it, but the gap between himself and Volakongan is now 9 points. There is Steph in between those two, but it is 9 points that is the gap. Obviously, Steph has been promoted to a Haas drive in PSGL F1.
Yeah, definitely. So apologies, by the way, if there is no game sound at this stage. There we are. There should be game sound right now. It is just typical OBS and Discord up for its own tricks with my Elgato. But there we are, we fixed it there. Volakongan is on lap as well. He's coming to the right-hander of, in towards Campos, I think that is. 117 flat in the middle sector, and he's just invalidated as well, his Volakongan on his lap. Kian Mobile on top, Namsko in second, Aurelian there in third. Dara Smith was on lap, Sapala also on a lap as well. Dara's not on a fully functioning lap, though, as Sapala nearly does the same as Stefano, actually, on the right-hand side, curve through the Fania chicane.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. It's a very difficult section of track that, especially some of these guys will be running very, very low wing setups. There's bound to be one chancer who's running 0-0, but they'll be running something maybe about 4-0 or vice versa. So it's very easy to spin the car around through difficult traction zones. Some guys may go the opposite. They might run a bit higher wings. We'll be able to determine who that is because we'll see them be absolutely blasted past in the straight. I know there's some setups that go around with 16, 18 wings. Very, very poor down the straights, but they pick up about a second in the middle sector. But it seems to be just a couple of tricky corners for a few of these guys, and they're going to have to watch out for that one because the track might be colder in the race, and that makes traction a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, it will, and obviously if the guys are starting on what I would assume will be a set of medium compounder tyres, there is always that case of I've just totally lost what I was actually going to say there. Weird. Stefano, though, is down...
We're so good at this.
But you'd think, honestly, we're like PSF9 at this stage rather than PSF2. Stefano...
Nah, don't do PSF9.
No, definitely not. I mean, there was 2 streams and I had to delete one before I actually started this one. But Stefano, anyway, is preparing up for a lap. I was going to say about the traction in terms of the medium compounder tyres. Obviously, they have to get extra traction within the car. And obviously, because it's colder temperatures, as you might allude to, Evan, that will have a real knock-on effect, potentially in terms of the lap times we'll see from comparison and qualifying into the race, and also in terms of their strategy as well. That's what I was going to go on about. Stefano in towards the Camel corner, down the Camel straight now on the left-hand side of Dutch corner once again. And Stefano, we saw his first run and was looking good right up until the Fania chicane. 29.7 through the first sector from Stefano. Now in toward Lecombe, right in the curve very nicely indeed. To the right-hander there of Malmedy, and now on the run down in towards Dussel once again. Dino preparing up for a lap as well. I think he might be the next one to set up on a lap. We were featuring as well just before we started the stream. Oh, Stefano has a huge kick coming out of No Name. Now in through Jackie X's corner, through Dussel, in towards No Name even. Stefano now down in towards Puon. Another huge snap of oversteer there from Stefano. He recovered the car well, but clearly his setup is not right for this track.
No, he's struggling. He really is struggling, and you can see it even the way he's going through Campus and through Stavelo, which is coming up. You can see the car. It just looks unstable a bit through the corners. He's driving it well now. He's picked it up a little bit and he's got his confidence, but it's still not a bad lap despite having that mistake. He'll still be looking to put him right up there.
Well, he might go second, actually, with this lap. The 14.1 is quicker than Namsko in the middle sector, so Stefano's actually not looking too bad at all on this lap, even with that big snap of oversteer, and now coming in towards the bus stop chicane. He is looking on, maybe even for provisional pole at this stage, with 9 minutes gone in the qualifying session. He and Namsko rally in top 3, but Stefano's going to put himself right up there. Might go second, he goes top, and he actually goes second on my screen, because it's the same lap time. Kian out on top for now. Stefano, though, in second, set the lap time after Kian, and puts himself down into second, which is the first time I've ever seen a driver get put down from first down to second.
Yeah, he's second on my screen as well. The rule with that one is whoever sets the lap first. Usually it didn't work on the F1 game and it was a little bit messed up, but That is the rule. Now, Keane has just invalidated his lap, taking the esports line in towards Puhan, and that's not what you want to be doing. But yeah, exact same lap time. That's how close it gets. That wasn't a bad lap from Stefano. He seems to have made some sort of an adjustment, whether it's on the differential or the brake bias, but the car did look a lot more stable towards the end of the lap. Might just be struggling through a couple of the corners. Will Murdoch is improving slightly as well. I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with how far up Will Murdoch is, because he's just invalidated his lap while saying that. But impressed that he's still fifth, because he's a man who doesn't play the F1 game as much as he'd probably like to. Will Murdoch, of course, took part in the Gran Turismo World Series in Monaco, so hats off to Will as he's now spun round. But that's Schumacher who's just beaten him and gone fifth.
Yeah, not a bad lap there at all from Schumacher. Aurelian actually is a 10th up coming through Puon. Now in toward the middle sector split. Not looking at all too bad from the Ferrari. Kian out on top, Stefano in second, Namsko there in third. Namsko is just preparing up for a first sector split. 29.7, 9,000 down in the first sector. Actually now coming through. Aurelian, I should say, coming through. The purple middle sector out of everyone. 2.5 tenths up. Takes my line coming through there as well, which is very neat and tidy. And Aurelian now coming into the left-hander of Blanchard on this fearsome run in excess of 200 mph gain coming through the corner. Aurelian now on the run towards bus stop to Kane. 205 mph. Harry now goes quickest. 14.1 with a huge statement lap there from him in the Williams, I think that is. Aurelian now coming through the final corner on the run to the right. Is he going to go quicker than Harry? No, just close enough, but 200ths of a second separating. It's the Alpine of Harry, I should say, out on top. Aurelian there in second. Keenan third. Namsko was down in the first sector. His middle sector split not looking too bad at all. Namsko through the middle sector, and he's 5,000 up.
Here's Volakongan heading to the line. He's gone across it. Only sixth for Volakongan. It's not too bad, though. I suppose what we've seen from Volakongan is that he's not the best qualifier here in the field, but very good in race trim. That's an excellent lap from Harry and Arilyn, though. So, very impressed with those two. Maybe we get into the 41s come the end of this session.
Oh, I think we will. Namsko on the run to the line is improving in this final sector. Goes fifth, stays fifth, in fact, in terms of his lap time, but he did improve a 10th of a second in that final sector, so time is to be found. Certainly from Namsko in the first and middle sector. That will be very keen to watch, I am sure, as we go through this qualifying session. Harry Adam top of Aurelian in second, Kian there in first, Stefano in fourth, Noah there going sixth as well, and Feddy putting himself in this 8th position as well. Volakongan, Feddy, Schumacher all separated by 3,000ths of a second for 7th, 8th and 9th, which is not too bad at all, and quite a few drivers on a 42.4 as well, so very close indeed. Ron on a lap, Mitchie on a lap as well. Dara Smith, I think, was just preparing for one at this stage. And Jerry, who I actually fancy for pretty much pole position around here. He won in WR around here, if I'm not mistaken. 142.8, still in the pit lane, still in 19th position.
Yeah, and I just have to point out quickly, great lap from Noah to beat his teammate. Noah, he's not really been near Volakongan all season. Had a good race in Canada where he was beating him, but penalties caused him to fall behind. Great lap from him. Newt has gone sixth as well. Seems to be trying to recover a bit from a Portuguese disaster class, I suppose it's the only way to call it. But, yeah, very impressed with Noah. I have to agree with you with Jerry, though. I definitely think we're going to see a lot more from him in this session. Lap now, so he's got to be building up soon.
Are we back? Just had a bit of a lag spike there. Apologies. I hope we're back now.
Oh, I can still hear you. I think we're all good.
You can still hear it? That was weird. OBS just crashed a little bit there, so that's why we saw a little bit of a jump on the stream. Harry the Wild on top of Aurelian in second, Kian there in third, and Kian's first sector split is incoming right now because he's on the lap. 29.7 in the first sector. Purple out of everyone in that first sector split. Knowing the Codemasters game, though, don't take that with a bit of a pinch of salt at this stage, as Key now comes in towards the Bruxelles corner through the right-hander, and he's not looking too bad at all on this lap so far. The OP man, of course, he took the win last time out in Portugal, in Portimao, and he'd be hoping to try and carry on this really good form as he takes what is very rare, actually, on this game, the esports line.
He just looks so comfortable here. He's really driving very, very smooth. It makes no difference in qualifying, it's just how he drives, but come to the race, his tyres will be thanking him. This is absolutely excellent smooth driving from Keane, and certainly his tyre management will be good. Kicks up a bit of dust there on the exit of campus through Stavilo. Very, very good middle sector. That's an excellent middle sector from the Aston Martin. I would not be surprised if this goes.
Again, apologies if we are just cutting out on the stream. Hopefully everything is fine qualifying again, I was trying to close down a program that was actually causing my CPU to go a little bit slow because Keane's in the pits.
That's very odd. That is very, very peculiar.
I can only think he made a mistake coming out of Campos through the middle sector, and that's why he's backed off his lap, because he would have been losing all the time, all the way down toward Blanchimont. So I wonder, yeah, that's interesting. Or maybe he is trying to not give away his pace compared to what he actually thinks it might be.
Or another feasible idea would be that he's pitting to go at the very end, but if you're improving by that much, surely it makes no difference. Don't really understand that from Keane, but look, if he ends up taking pole position today, then I suppose it worked out for him, but everybody just flying out onto the circuit now should be an exciting end to qualify.
Yep, it should be an exciting end to qualifying. Indeed, Mitchie is the first one currently in on an outlap at this stage. 2 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Drivers are going to hurry out, to be honest. They want to try and get a more than one run in. Mitchie is obviously trying to get more than one run in, even though I think he's only going to set the final lap here. TF10 ran down in 17th position. A little bit disappointing, if I've got to be honest, from his perspective. I was going to be expecting him up towards the top 5, maybe even the top 10 from Mitchie's perspective. So the AlphaTauri's got time to find. He's there in 17th. He's currently not on a lap, as you can tell on the left-hand side. That's just the Codemasters game and the glitch coming once again and causing us a little bit of a headache potentially here in the commentary box. Where Mitchie there now coming through Blanchimont on the run into the bus stop chicane and on the run to his final lap. And what we'll do, we'll keep the timing tower up on the left, the timing tower on, I should say, on the left-hand side, just so you can follow where drivers are. No one Volokong, I think, the next up on the lap behind him as well. But Mitchie now on the run down in towards turn number 1 at the source hairpin. Actually, a bit of a rise in towards turn number 1. Of course, they put the drainage back down a couple of years ago, and that's why it's a little bit off-centre down in towards down in towards the source. Now down in towards the Rouge and Radion, and Mitchie's not looking too bad coming through the Rouge, then through Radion, close, carrying flat out speed through there, 190-mile-an-hour gain. Now coming through down in towards the Common. He's going very quick down the straight, make 210-mile-an-hour. You should expect down in towards the Lecombe chicane. That's 29.7 purple in the first sector.
Yeah, 340 kilometers an hour for those who are interested. Highest top speed ever down that straight was 362 kilometers from Charles Leclerc, and that's an invalidation, unfortunately, for Mitchie. That's unfortunate, but he does have time to get one more run in, I believe. Or no, he's not. Unfortunately, that's the end of the session for Mitchie.
Unless he had a bit of a jetpack underneath that AlphaTauri, I don't think he'll be getting around in 35 seconds. Put it that way. Maybe in the old F1 cars you could. But not in these.
Oh, it was a yellow flag, James. I couldn't see the timer. Leave me alone.
Volakongan coming through Pouon is just invalidated coming through Pouon. Noah's next up coming through Pouon as well. He's on a lap behind. Of course, Mitchie. Noah is going to be the first one actually to set a proper lap as long as he stays valid within the white lines. 42.453 is his current best at this stage. Not looking too bad in towards Campos through the right-hander as the session now ends on the left-hand side. 14 flat in the middle sector. Huge middle sector from Noah.
Huge middle sector from Noah, 14 flat. That's what Keane said on his very fast run. So Noah matching one of the quicker guys here in the tier. Needs to keep it pretty much flat through Blanchimont. Heading up towards the bus stop chicane. Brake as late as you can and just downshift. You can use engine braking that little bit. There's not much in these cars. He only downshifts to 4th gear, higher gear than we see some people using. Short shift towards the line. Where does Noah go? He goes P3. Excellent lap from the Haasman.
It's a very good lap indeed, but Harry is responding. 13.9 in the middle sector from Harry, and he's looking to try and consolidate that provisional pull right now. Rowan there goes 4th as well. Harry's going to be one of the next up to come across the line. Noah, Jerry going 4th there as well with a very good lap, but now Harry on the run to the line. Actually doesn't improve, and now this opens the door for Aurelian. He only's got to find 25 hundredths of a second, and then he's pretty much game on. Stefano now goes quickest. Screw that, he needs to now find 10th of a second, does Aurelian at this stage. Stefano there in the lead, Harry there in second, Aurelian there in third at this stage in qualifying. There's more improvements to come, I'm sure. Nuke there going 10th, now with Will Murdoch going 6th, but Aurelian now coming to the final corner. Can he put it on pole for the Shazoo man on the run to the line? No, he can't. He goes second, and he's got close, but not close enough. Anybody else improving on a lap? Keane is up by 8 hundredths of a second.
Namsco with some big improvements in the middle sector as well as Keane, but not enough from both as of now. They need a big last sector.
Namsko had a bit of a squirrel as well, coming through the bus stop chicane. That might be him done. He's not improving actually on his laps. That's disappointing from Namsko. Stays out the top 10. Keane on the run to the line goes 6th. Not a bad lap there at all from the Aston Martin. Fetty, I think, is done potentially on a lap. Yeah, he is indeed. That is the end of qualifying, and it's Stefano in the end out on top. We'll have a look at everyone else. There's Mitchie down in 19th position. Mitchie down in 19th. That invalidation absolutely cost him in the late stages of qualifying. Plenty of improvements up and down the field, but it's Stefano, the German, for the OP team out on top. Shazoo there in second with Aurelian in second. Harry there in third. Very close qualifying with a 10th of a second covering the top 3. Noah there in 4th. Jerry in 5th. Kian in 6th. Will Murdoch in 7th. Rowan in 8th. Devon in 9th, Footsbad round off the top 10, then Namsko in 11th, Nuth in 12th, Buller Congdon 13th, Feddy in 14th, Schumacher 15th, and they were still separated by 3,000ths of a second at the end of qualifying. Dino unfortunately couldn't get it done at the Dinosaur track in 16th, with Ron in 17th, Darrell there in 18th, Mitchie there in 19th, and Zapala all the way down in 20th, Alpha Tauri on the back row of the grid. We are going to take a slight intermission break from our sponsor GT Omega. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Well, isn't this a change-up for the books? 20 seconds to go in terms of getting the race underway here in PSF2. It is very dull, very damp, very overcast. What are we expecting, Mr. Evan Dalton, in 10 seconds?
Sensational motorsport of the finest form.
Couldn't put it any better myself. As we can now go for the 5 red lights, of course, here in PSF2. And, of course, Stefano on the front row of the grid. The Ferrari there alongside him. 5 red lights are on. And it is lights out and away we go in a rally and gets a very good start, very strong start on the run down and towards turn number 1. He could try and go all the way around the outside and towards the source, and he's already ahead in towards the source. So Aurelian takes the lead. Stefano absolutely stepped off the start. There's a huge crash in the background. Fetty, I think, got caught up in that if I'm not mistaken. Ron got sent sideways as well. But Aurelian leads the way. 2 by 2 in the background on the run down and towards the Rouge and Radion. But Aurelian leads the way. Stefano in second. Noah there in third. Harry there in fourth. Jeremy there in fifth. Rowan, Will, Murdoch, Footspad. They're side by side. There's 3 wide actually down the Kemmel Straight with Nuth, Devon and Schumacher, I think, literally line astern. 3 wide until they come. Doesn't really go. Somebody's going to have to back off. And Schumacher tries to go all the way around the outside of Nuth to try and get the job done. Now he's on the inside line and gets the job done. Schumacher soon, he's into 10th, gets 2 moves on the Red Bulls. Nuth and Devon. Devon had to back off. There's a spinner in the background and Fetty, who was fun coming out of Malmedy. But Aurelian leads the way. Stefano there in second. Noel there in third. Pop from the carnage with Fetty at lap 1. And also that spin from him. Pretty much clean throughout the start and 3 wide down and towards the come.
Apart from Keane as well, he's down at the back on the race start. He got a good launch and then just came straight across one of the McLarens, clipped the front tyre, got spun into the wall. Not too sure if there's damage on board that Aston Martin, but it was a very, very horrible error to make. Completely his own fault, but a horrible start for Keane. He's down 13, an excellent start for Schumacher. He's up 5.
He is indeed up 5. Keane there down at 19. I can only assume he got caught up in that collision with Ron coming out of turn number 1. As Nuth now is trying to get on the back of Schumacher. Shapalo is round on the back when he's out the race. Coming through Stavolo. So that is disappointing from his perspective. And we've already got the first VSC of the night. Yeah, VSC deployed out on track. Could get deployed for full safety car. He is out on track there on the right hand side. Coming out of Stavolo. Unfortunately, we can't get to the scene accident because everyone has now passed, which is unfortunate. But Aurelian leads the way. Stefano there in second, Noah there in third. As Evan has mentioned, 5 position gains for Schumacher, 3 gains as well for Volakongan and Dava. So they're the most position gains. Mitchie and Kian, though, both into the pit lane early on, suggest there is damage. Otherwise, it is going to be for a different choice of tyre. I'd assume set of hards. Set of mediums.
Yeah, Keane, I definitely think he did hit the pit wall. Look, he definitely did hit the... Oh, we're back on.
Yeah,
Keane, he definitely hit the pit wall with that spin. I wasn't sure if he did or not, but he was round before turn number 1. Very quick VSC.
Volokongan and Dino are side by side as well, with the sun now blasting through the clouds here at Belgium, and Volokongan blasts his way past Dino on the run down the straight in towards Lecombe. Job done for Volokongan. He's doing into 13th. Dino there in 14th as well. Of course, he's made 2 position gains of that race start, with Volokongan trying to make up ground, obviously, from his disappointing qualifying session. Jerry as well on the back of Harry. These two I know for a fine fact in WR have had a very good battle around here in the past. So, let's see more of that, please, from 4th and 5th position. Rowan chasing them down as well there in 6th. Thornley, of course, now up, but Aurelian leads the way. Stefano in 2nd, and Noah there in 3rd as Nuth, right on the back of Schumacher coming out of Puon, right in the background of the shot there, the Red Bull all over the back of that Alfa Romeo, and he is trying to make those medium compound tyres work early on.
Yeah, I think Schumacher and Nuth, this could be a little bit of a duel throughout the race. They seem to be at each other, not in an aggressive way, it's just some brilliant wheel-to-wheel racing, but those medium tyres, they're not necessarily the greatest around Spa. They don't have that much of an advantage over the hards as you would see in some other tracks, maybe the likes of Austria and Silverstone maybe, but Nuth definitely burning up some battery. He doesn't get it! Oh, Schumacher in the grass! No idea how he's caught that one, but Schumacher's made a huge error.
Oh, and the Mercedes of Darren Needy actually crashes into the back of him. I think he's got left side end plate damage. Schumacher, he has indeed. Saw the left side end plate just in the background of shot there, but Schumacher into the pit lane. He has done, his race has run, I think, after that mistake. But as you say, he recovered it really well, apart from the left side end plate damage on the car.
Apart from the damage, yeah.
I didn't actually see what happened. It just literally flicked on board as Volokongan and Devon now side by side running pretty much down into towards the Rouge and Radion together. And, oh, he got caught on the outside curb coming out of Blanchimont. That is why he got sent completely off the track. Volokongan now on the back of Devon, though.
Oh, here comes Jerry Bissell.
Jerry and Harry and Will Murdoch. Volokongan, though. Oh, my goodness me. Round the outside of Lecombe. Gets the job done. Beautiful on the brakes. Jerry through and Rowan through there, 4th and 6th as well.
Yeah, Will's struggling. Not sure what's happened. Will Murdoch, he's ghosted. And maybe a disconnect here. Hopefully not for Will. He seems to be recovered okay. Might have just been a tap from the car in front that caused the ghosting system to kick into play. But he's lost 2 positions from to Rowan and Futzpav. And then Jerry Bissell, beautiful move around the outside in towards the first part of the Lecombe chicane on Harry. Was a little bit of a wheel nudge between the two of them, but all okay for now.
Yeah, all okay for now. Indeed, Nuth again on the back of Namsko. He's obviously disposed of Schumacher. Well, Schumacher disposed of himself in terms of that crash. But Nuth there on the back of Namsko, he has got him pretty much in his sight. I know for a fine fact Nuth, this is one of his strongest tracks as well. Of course, he wanted to make those centre mediums come into play. And look at this, he's down the inside and towards Blanchimont, and Namsko's not even going to fight. That's easy as you like from Nuth. The German now through, and he's into P9. He's got next up on his hit list, good old Will Murdoch.
Yeah, Will versus Nuth should be a very interesting battle. 2 racers with a lot of experience, so certainly don't count them out. In terms of the championship, of course, Nuth is still in 6th. He might have had a poor race in Portugal. Still in 6th. That's the championship leader he's just overtaken. And this could be very interesting now, James. It is 3rd place in the championship versus 1st place in the championship for the final points-paying position as of now. This could be a very interesting one.
Yeah, it could be very interesting indeed, as Volokongan's going to have something to say about that as well. Namsko just looks like he's struggling all over. Maybe picked up a little bit of substantial damage on the first lap for Volokongan, breezing past him down the straight, down the outside in towards the Kemmel, straight down in towards Lecombe. Volokongan's easily through and he's into 10th position, so Namsko now out of the points. And if you're the championship leader like Namsko is, you are now going to try and fight for every single position out on track, whether it's your last position, whether it's your first position. He's going to have to try and fight for every single position now if he's going to try and get up the field. But luckily for him, his hard compounded tyres are set to come into play around 7 or 8 laps into the race. Volokongan and Nuth's tyres are obviously going to be degrading at that part of the track there, 7 or 8 laps. They're probably going to be wearing at that point. So Namsko, as long as he stays within a second of Volokongan, he'll be alright. But Nuth and Volokongan, I think, want to try and get on with things as well.
Yeah, certainly. But another problem for the hard tyre runners would be if a safety car came out at around lap 5 or lap 6, because that would put the medium guys in a very good position. The hard tyres are decent around here. The tyre wear it's pretty high. Obviously, it's Spa. It's 7.004 kilometres, and there's only 22 laps of racing. So, sir, oh, hold on, what's happened here? That's Will. Is that Will Murdoch going slow? No, that's Nuth just dismantling him.
Yeah, absolutely dismantled Nuth on the inside line, coming through Blanchimont. That same overtake as he did last lap around. ERS on, plenty of straight line speed. The German now through and he's into P8 and made look sorry, I couldn't even get my words out. Made Will Murdoch look like an absolute mug right there. Nuth there through and he's into 8th. Will Murdoch in 9th. Volokong ran off in 10th as Will Murdoch actually makes a mistake in towards the source and much bigger mistake there from Namsco in the background. Nearly went wide coming out of turn number 1. Tony Hawk style like Dara on the curb. Of course, Dara in, I think it was WOR season 13, as Jerry now on the back of Noah is looking very close indeed. On the run down in towards the come. This is the battle for third at this stage, and Jerry breezes past Noah. He's not even there, and Jerry is making relentless progress through the field. He is through, he's into third, and now we've nearly got 3 wide in towards the come as Will Murdoch tries to hunt down Volokong hunting down Nuth, and in the end they stay in the same position.
Yeah, staying in the same position. No, though, doesn't have to hand it to him. P4, still some excellent running. Jerry is running pretty well here, but I have to say, it's still very close for lap 5 around the Belgian Grand Prix. It is still very close. Volokonga needs to watch his ERS management here. He's on 21, driver front Nuth. He is on 60, which is a really good position for the man on the mediums. He is making the most of it. He's getting a good exit out of the Coup Paul Frere, turn 16, and he's getting the launch in towards Blanchimont. So Nuth playing his cards very well with the hand he has been given, as it's starting to get a little bit more sunnier here. There's some dark clouds, but the sun it's trying to burst through.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously we're not going to get 4 weather systems in one like we did in the 24 hours of the 24 hours of Spa. I think it was in 2019, if I'm not mistaken, where of course it snowed, it hailed, it rained. Pretty much you name it, pretty much like a normal day in the northeast of England, to be honest. Harry on the back of Noah, 4P4 and P5, and Harry looking close in towards turn number 1. He's got the ERS on, may try lunging towards turn number 1, but he's too far back and obviously wants to try and consolidate his 4th position potentially on the run down the Camel Straight in towards Lake Horn. But Aurelian holding the lead and holding it quite firm actually at this stage. 6/10 of a second, hasn't really had a challenge right now, but the challenge is going to come from in behind as Jerry has a huge snap of oversteer coming through the middle of Rouge and Radion. And Nuth as well, I think, had the same mistake as well.
Oh, my goodness me, that's an excellent catch from Nuth. He lost it at the top of Eau Rouge.
And he's still there in 8th position and still got Volokong and Will Murdoch behind him, so it's well safe there from Nuth, down in 8th position. Jerry and Stefano are getting very close to the back of Aurelian. Aurelian at the minute has got more ERS compared to Stefano and Jerry at this stage. Around about 18% more than Stefano at this stage of the race, around 60%. Currently, Stefano actually on 51%, so it's about 9%, and it's about an 18% difference, which that's where it was, the 18%, to Jerry, of course, in terms of his ERS. There in third as Noah has a huge mistake coming out of Pouon, just about recovers the car. Harry and Rowan, though, the Alpines go through into 4th and 5th, and Noah just caught completely out wide. It's an off-camber corner through Pouon, out wide on the outside curb, Tony Hawk style, and the only way you're going is right.
You like a few Tony Hawk references, don't you, James? You're enjoying a bit of Tony Hawk masterclass this evening. Nuth could go for another spot here. He is on the back of Footsbab. Is this going to be a classical Nuth move into Blanchimont? He's not quite close enough, but Nuth is very much loving Sector 3 here. Is it going to be late in the brakes in towards the bus stop? No, it is not. That would have been very, very risky. But as you were saying, we were talking about the weather, the Ardennes region, where Spa is, of course. There was rain in the Belgian Grand Prix for 20 years, so it's more likely to get rain at this point than not. But I have to say, I think we're going to be dry running towards the end, just by looking at the strategy. So many people started on the hards, there would have been a few more risking it on the mediums. If there was a spot of rain expected.
Definitely so, and at least we've got more than 2 laps of racing, like the 2021 Belgian Grand Prix as well, as Jerry's going to come at Stefano as there's a retirement, I think, in the pit lane of Mitchie, as Stefano closing in on Aurelian, trying to look for the move. Oh, Jerry actually tries to come across him there. Stefano on the brakes as Noah's got past Nuth down the straight as well. Volokong, I think, has just managed to outdo Will Murdoch in towards that part of the track as well. But here comes Jerry on the inside line. This is getting very aggressive very quickly between them both. Stefano, though, surely has a bit of rear wing damage. He's off in the background there, and Jerry now through and he's into second. And in the end, Jerry is through in the position that I think he deserves. Stefano there with his defensive was too aggressive.
Yeah, way too aggressive, I think, especially into Bruxelles. I didn't think the one in towards Lake Holm was too bad, but into Bruxelles, you can't really be moving like that when it was what they call reactionary defending, and it is strictly forbidden in all forms of motorsport. Of course, as the PSGL Stewards Briefing reminds these guys every week, motorsport is a non-contact sport, and unfortunately, some of these guys need to learn that a little bit.
Yep, there's the yellow flag as well. Oh, as Harry has a huge snap coming through Stavolo as well, and Gordon there in fourth. Spin is for Ron, who has spun coming to the Fania chicane, which is a shame, because Ron was running quite well. I think he was in 13th, 14th position around that, as Newt is on the back of Noah, running down there and towards the bus stop chicane, shooting. This is going to be Newt down the inside line on the bus stop. In fact, has to go all the way around the outside. Newt and Noah, to be fair, actually defends it very, very aggressively indeed, but very, very well. Will Murdoch, though, and there's a spinner in the wall, and that is Volokongdonov. What on earth has happened there? I look back, there was a car in the wall. I can only assume Will Murdoch and Volokongdonov have gone side by side in towards the bus stop chicane, and then Will Murdoch's had a snap of oversteer. Volokongdon, wrong place, wrong time, and he's in the wall.
That's not good for Volokongdon's championship hopes, because Namsko is back into the points and arguably on the better strategy than Newt, so it's at least one more position. Speaking of the German, he's looking for this one on Noah.
Yes, he looks really quick down the straight, but unfortunately he hasn't got any more EOS, so he's not going to try and get the job done now in towards Lecom. But I think now, from Newt's perspective, he's got to apply Noah under a bit of pressure. He's outside of a second now, Noah, pretty much the foot spam, and actually Newt nearly gets caught in the inside curve coming through Malmedy as well, so he nearly had a spin himself. But what he's got to do now is, obviously his tyres are going to be wearing away, but what he's got to do on those tyres is actually do that reactionary defending, is what you're on about, obviously with Will Murdoch and Namsko in behind. He's got to react to them getting quicker through the race. Newt now has to apply the pressure. If he's got the pace, he's got to apply the pressure to Noah, then force Noah outside of a second, and then go for the move. And he also needs to save up some ERS as well.
Yeah, and he needs to watch his tyres, because they're not going to be at their best. They're well past their best at this point, and he will be thinking about a pit stop soon. Might even be in this lap, but the pace still looks okay. Van Newt runs a little bit wide through Stavolo and then in towards turn number 16. He's still doing okay here with Newt, but I think a pit stop would really, really be a benefit for him, as Will Murdoch burning some ERS. He's looking to get close and he's looking to get past, as the gap at the front for the first time in this race is over a second.
It is indeed, and Jerry actually doesn't have... Oh, and it's literally a second as he comes into the DRS detection point. But he hasn't got the DRS, unfortunately, so Jerry now out of DRS and now out of ideas potentially on the back of Aurelian, who still leads the way. Dallas Smith was the one that came into the pit lane from that sort of medium compound tyres further down. I can only assume with them being about 2 seconds off the pace to Dino, that is purely going to be an undercut strategy into sort of hard compound tyres right to the end of the race. And Dara does like it around 2 at Belgium, so he will be very quick in the second half as opposed to the first half of the race as well. As, speaking of the man, the myth, the legend, the Brit, Will Murdoch on the back of Newt, running down the straight. Newt's going to try and save up any EOS he can. Will Murdoch, though, not actually enticed to get the move done, which is very, very strange, because I thought he would have had that one every day of the week, but unfortunately, Will Murdoch on the back of Newt, still P8 and P9, and doesn't want to go for the move.
I thought Will Murdoch getting that close would be like having a 5-star steak in front of you. Will Murdoch normally snaps at the opportunity for something like that, but he's way more composed. Patience is something that, I think I mentioned this in qualifying, that he has lacked, but he's looking quite patient today. And speaking of the McLaren, we were pinning him for blame he does not deserve. TNR have spoken up and have said that Volokongdon spun by himself, James, while entering the pits. Very, very, very poor mistake to make from the driver of this calibre.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate for Volokong, because he's down in 15th position. He needs a safety car, I think, to get back into the race. Well, Freddy downwards, I think, need a safety car to get back into the race. But yeah, Matthias saying that Volokong caught by himself coming into the pit lane, so I can only assume he's got caught on that inside curb coming in the pit lane. It is a an absolute horrible curve. I was going to say a bugger of a curve, but I think that's a bit of a swear word. Even before what am I looking for? Anyways, Newt's in the pit lane. I don't know what I'm going on about. Newt's in the pit lane for that fresh set of tyres, set of hard compound tyres going on the car, the TF10 man, and he's now coming through the final, out of the pit lane, I should say, into the first corner at the source, and he is going to be, I think, maybe well ahead of Dara coming out the pit lane. He is indeed Dara coming across the line, and Newt is going to be well ahead, which is good from the German's perspective. In clear air, got the undercut strategy on, and that now means Newt there in 13th position has got a very good chance of getting up the field. What I was saying about that curve, though, it's not a bugger of a curb. It does throw you off, though, and I can understand what Volakongan and Tice were certainly saying about that. It is a throw-off curb. It puts you on the right-hand side. If you take it too much, you're in the wall on the right-hand side, and that's exactly what happened with Volakongan, unfortunately.
I'm going to take a guess. Was watershed the word you were looking for?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. But yeah, I agree. That curb's horrible. And Volakongan, unfortunately, has paid the price of a horrible piece of curbing. Gap up the front, 1.4. This is looking very good for the Ferrari man. He is performing. And Jerry, not able to really keep up as car in front has 33% ERS. And Jerry's got to be looking at his and seeing there's not much there. It's only 11 for him. Maybe might try an undercut. But as of now, could it be too early to say a comfortable victory on the cards?
I use this word every week. He looks dominant at the stage, does a rally and up there in first.
We seem to use this word every week for someone else. There's Jerry in, so it is an undercut way earlier than I expected. Going to be doing 12 laps in the mediums. Noah is in as well. There's a few people in actually here, James. This seems surprisingly early, but I suppose they know better than I do.
I'm not surprised, actually, that they're coming in at this point, but literally, as I said, the hard compounded tyres will go off around the same point as the mediums, around 8-9 laps into the race. I'm not at all surprised by this, because Zizzle, I know, did a race around here. I think it was SRC, which we covered around here, and I can remember him, certainly, as Jerry's at
the undercut. Yeah, I remember the undercut. If that's what you're on about, it was unbelievable how I'm pretty sure he had about 4 positions or something due to the undercut. So that's obviously what they're going to be trying. This means the likes of Stefano and Rowan have to watch their back here from those behind, like Harry and Noah, who pulled into the pits.
Yeah, well, Nuther's also gained on Noah as well. He's on the back, actually, of Noah running down the Kemmel straight at this stage, but it's still 0.5 of a second. He's on that set of hard compounded tyres, and while everyone else ahead of him is actually going to go on that set of mediums and probably fly ahead of him out on track. So Nuth, unfortunately, I think is going to be well under the cosh here, well under pressure from the likes of Jerry, Harry, Noah ahead of him, rather than anyone behind, because quite frankly, he's going to have nobody behind when everyone decides to come in to the pit lane. But Aurelian leading the way. Stefano now, though, 2.1 seconds behind him. And has Stefano made a mistake on this lap? Because I swear that gap was 1.4 seconds. TRS
I'm not too sure if he's made... I'm not too sure if he's made a mistake. I think Aurelian has just had a really, really good in-lap. He's going to be pitting this lap for sure. He's burned all his battery. This is going to be a pit stop from Ferrari. And let's see if Jerry Bissell can pull off the undercut. And yeah, the Shizuman is into the pit lane. So is Stefano, mind you. And so is Rowan. Footspap. Will Murdoch. Oh, Will Murdoch out of shape. Has Will Murdoch hit the pit wall? I severely hope not. Devon has tried something different. And the Red Bullman stays out.
Yeah, Devon stays out. He still leads the way out on track, or he's now in the lead of the race out on track. Will Murdoch has escaped from wing damage. Luckily, he's on that set of medium compounded tyres now. But Jerry coming down in towards turn number 1. Aurelian is on the exit of the pit lane, and Aurelian is going to be well ahead of Jerry, but not by much, because Jerry is going to be there on the run up towards Erusian Radion. He's going to have that overspeed, and do you know what? I think he's going to try and get this job done in toward Les Combes. This is set up perfectly for Jerry to now get the read of legs, and now look at Aurelian as actually jumps ahead on my screen, and Jerry now absolutely breezes on by. Aurelian's there like a sitting duck. Jerry to the outside line takes now what is the net lead of the race. Jerry there now in what? Oh, no.
Certainly, Jerry flew past on my screen as well, but all of a sudden he's behind again. Okay, this one's odd. This is a beautiful battle, though. Heading through Brussels towards X curve. Jerry around the outside. That's an unbelievable move. That is an unbelievable overtake, and Harry's on the back of these as well. He's looking to try and get past. There's definitely some lag involved here, though, so we do apologise for that, folks.
Yeah, definitely so. My OBS disconnected there slightly as well. Luckily, it didn't restart. But yeah, bit of lag there. But what we can say now, though, is Jerry is now in the net lead of the race. Even though he got the move done even before the Les Combes chicane, he got the job done there. But that was absolutely marvellous. World class from Jerry around the outside, coming through Wick's corner. It is very difficult to go around the outside there, trust me. But if you get the switch back out of Bruxelles in towards X, that now brings you into play. And Aurelian there's now under pressure from Harry as Devon is into the quick lane. He's going to be coming out around Nuth Dino, Namskull sort of area. But what we can say with confidence is now Jerry leads the way, Aurelian there in second, and Harry there in third. Has picked up a 3-second penalty out on track, but Harry is doing a good job, and of course he can try and get those 3-second penalties removed.
Yeah, he can. No game audio coming from
Oh,
the chat again, James. Just,
it
just
lagged.
thought I'd let you know of
Yeah.
that. Noah sets the fastest lap of the race. Very good lap from Noah. He was covering off the undercut from Newt, and Newt is right in the pack now. He's just ahead of Dino,
And here's
behind
Aurelian.
Footspab.
Here's Aurelian for the
And
race
here's
lead. Sorry to
Aurelian.
cut you off, Evan. Here he comes on the outside
Oh,
line,
good.
and Harry's going to try and get a really good run at these two as well. But Aurelian on the outside line down the Camel Straight gets the job done. He's back and he's into the lead, and this now is looking very, very tasty.
Yeah, I think this is one of Aurelian's best performances of the season. Certainly Jerry Brussel's, because he's only new to us here on the F2 tier. This is a great race. This should be a real good scrap to the end. If we get a safety car, this would make this all very, very interesting. Jerry, bit of a snap out of Brussel's. Could be under pressure from Harry. No, he's got the exit. Should be all okay.
Yep, should be all okay indeed. And Harry is getting 3/10 off, but he's got to save that ERS at this point. 11% for Harry. Jerry has got 30% of ERS. So even if Harry does attack, what is he going to attack with? And Stefano, to be fair, is eating into this advantage. Harry has been a little bit slow for my liking. He's there and done and has a huge snap coming out of Fanny Chicane as well. And Stefano now with his pace on that lap pressure tyres is getting a lot closer. Harry just simply does not have the pace at this stage compared to Stefano. And Stefano, if Harry stays in behind Jerry, which I'm imagining he will, and Jerry's using up that ERS now down the straight, down in towards Blanchimont, Jerry now pulling back into the gap of Aurelian. This is now going to be possibly a really good fight as Dino goes all the way around the outside coming through Blanchimont. Incredible move from Dino. Didn't see it on our camera angle, unfortunately, but Dino, I promise you, is ahead of Newt and he's into 9th.
It's actually up the inside from Dino. It was a beautiful move. Newt got Newted, if you want to say something along those lines. Yeah, it was terrible, James, don't worry. But yeah, that corner where Newt's made all his moves, he's just got a taste of his own medicine.
Will Murdoch having a huge snap on the right-hand side coming through the source at turn number 1 at the hairpin. Will Murdoch pretty much went to the right-hand side, literally like Mika Hakkinen, Michael Schumacher style, 1998 Grand Prix, and God forbid I don't want to bring Schumacher David Coulthard incident as well here in Belgium in 1998 as well. Anyways, trip down memory lane. Devon's looking on the back of his teammate. Newt there in 10th and 11th position at this stage. Namskill there in 12th. He's not entirely out of the points, but what has been a real question of his tyres is Newt obviously in 10th has undercut him. Namsko now out of the points. He's got Devon ahead of him, who of course has been doing well all season. So Namsko, the championship leader, has got to really put in a big effort now, even with his tyres and even with fresher tyres ahead of him in Devon.
The only saving grace for Namsko is the fact his closest rival, Volakongan, is behind him as well. It's been 2 terrible races from our championship protagonist. This could make for a really interesting end to the season because they'll all get, or sorry, apologies, everyone else will get right back into this. Devon, though, I have to say, he's looking very good since his pit stop. Of course, he's on much better tyres than those in front, but Harry is just getting very close to Jerry up the top here, James, and I think we might get some battling down the Camel Straight.
I hope we do. I really hope we do. We might even get it before then, coming out the bus stop chicane. Beautiful from Harry on the exit. Jerry just pulls out that little bit extra. Might just have that little bit extra speed in the second half of the race compared to Harry, who's there in 3rd. Obviously, with that 3-second penalty over hanging him, Stefano and Rowan are going to move up ahead of him at this stage, and maybe even Noah as well. So Harry has really got to push on, but at what cost? Because his tyres are obviously a lot older than Aurelian. I know it's only a lap older, but around here, it's around 6-7% difference normally in terms of the mediums lap upon lap, as Futzfab is going to make the move on Will Murdoch to the inside line, in toward Lacombe. Will Murdoch backs out very nicely, and Futzfab doing his into 7th, and also Devon doing his teammate into 10th.
Yeah, Harry turned right in for the chicane, got on the curb, huge snap, had to cut across it, and that's dropped him off the back of Jerry. This may be the beginning of the end for Harry, falling off this leader train. And I have to say, Futzbab and Will Murdoch may be battling here, but it's 2 impressive performances from both of them. There's a lot of impressive performances, but the VIR guys of Noah and Futzbab have really been standouts for me today.
Yeah, really standouts indeed. And Aurelian obviously doing a fantastic job. Jerry there in 2nd, obviously gaining positions off the restart, off the race start. 3 positions gained so far in this race. Most positions gained though was Dino. He might have been a little bit of a dinosaur in qualifying, down in 16th position, but he's up there in 9th, doing a fantastic job. He's got a bit of a break ahead of him there with Will Murdoch and Futzbab obviously battling, maybe down in towards Blanchimont. But now the gap for the front 3 begins to pull away, and Stefano all of a sudden is now under complete pressure from the guys in behind. Rowan and Noah doing a good job there in 5th, 6th and 7th. And Footspab also with Will Murdoch on the back of this train as well. So this could get quite enticing towards the end of the race as well. But Stefano there in 4th. What I said was very good pace. Now he has absolutely no pace.
Yellow flag, that's Schumacher, and I think I've met my match for absolute dreadful puns. That's 3 dinosaur puns today from Mr. James Head. But oh well, that's why we love him. Schumacher and Keane have had dreadful races, as Rowan is attacking Stefano. I'll hand this one back to you.
Yeah, Rowan now clearly has got a text on the back of Stefano. Looks to the inside line, running down the Kemmel straight, and surely he's got the job done. Into 4th as Schumacher is retired. Out on track, and that's a full safety car. Full safety car, and that is coming out of Campos corner. On the right-hand side, I can only assume. Keane has reacted to come in the pit lane, but Schumacher is out of the race. And now brings a full safety car. Now this is going to be interesting. Aurelian leads the way. Jerry in 2nd, Harry in 3rd. And this, I think, is absolutely perfect. As also, Rowan got past Stefano, which I didn't notice. So Rowan's through and he's into 4th.
Yeah, he just got past him there. Very lucky he got that one done, actually, because the you did commentate over it, James, but he's very lucky he got it done because the safety car came out straight away. There's usually late safety cars here in Spa. Soft tyres will be a bit of a stretch, but Keane's gone for them. The softs don't have a lot of life around here, as per most tracks on the Formula 1 calendar. Certainly these 18-inch rimmed Pirelli rubbers, they just seem to die out on this game, the softs. But yeah, this is going to be very, very interesting, I feel, because everyone is going to be bunched up even closer. The batteries will be back to full, and these guys are going to have to play it smart, because there's a long straight here in Spa, and you can be passed on it at any time.
Yep, and Aurelian doesn't decide to come in the pit lane. I thought he was going to try and juke a few in. Jerry, as Rowan is in.
Rowan has chanced it. Not a lot of people have. Nothing really to lose for the Alpine in this one. And Rowan he's tried it, and we'll see if it works out. Namsco, Newt, Dara Smith all in. I understand Newt and Dara Smith's thinking, because they were on older hards, they would have been sitting ducks anyways at this restart. So they are trying something a bit different here, and I respect that.
Yeah, definitely so. And obviously, with those guys on a set of soft compound tyres, I normally say they're going to be the quickest guys on track, which they are in theory. But from Rowan's perspective, Namsco, Newt, they have just cost themselves, I think, a point-scoring finish, because everyone in that set of mediums are not going to get out of the way. They're going to fight for their positions, which is rightfully theirs. And Rowan there in 10th position, he's on that set of soft compounded tyres. Now, if he gets an absolute world-class start off this safety car restart, Rowan is going to be up, I would say, past Will Murdoch and maybe even Footspab at the end of this first lap, the first racing lap, on that set of soft compounded tyres. If not, and if Rowan gets caught up, which I'm imagining will be the case, and if he gets caught up in that traffic that's ahead of him, Rowan is probably not going to be going anywhere fast. So I think he has actually cost himself a point-scoring finish. Even though he's still in the points, he's getting there a point down the back of the field in 10th position. Namsco and Nuth are in behind. They're going to keep him on his toes, and Rowan, I think, is going to try and react to rather Namsco behind him than the guys ahead of him.
I don't think they'll lose point scoring positions. I think they might sneak in if there's a bit of battles up the top. But I agree. I can't really see them getting back up, or certainly Rowan getting back up to the heights he was in. He was in 4th position behind his teammate, was on the provisional podium, and he's pit. So he obviously sees that something better could come from this. And will it? Well, only time will tell. This will bring then the likes of Volokong and Ron, and then Keane back in. Keane was driving all race just hoping for a safety car, and he's got one. So Keane, we expect to see something maybe from him. And then of course both AlphaTauris DNFing here. It's another bad race for AlphaTauri.
It is indeed. Zapata, of course, out of the race. Michi out of the race as well, along with Schumacher, who caused the safety car. The first safety car of tonight. VSC, of course, a little bit earlier on, but Aurelian leads the way from Jerry there in 2nd, Harry there in 3rd. At this stage, we're coming on to lap 18 out of 22 here at the Belgian Grand Prix. And one thing to notice is it me, or is it beginning to get a little bit cloudier out on track?
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it. It's definitely a little bit cloudier through turn 1. I don't think we'll get any rain. It just seems a bit too bright, but it's not that unfamiliar for it to start spitting towards the last lap. So that could make things very interesting.
Well, Keane's back into the pit lane, so I wonder if this is going to be a change onto... Well, just change onto a fresh set of softs. I was going to say, if it's a change onto a set of mediums, then there might be a little bit of rain coming. But going onto that sort of soft compound size, definitely getting a lot cloudier, and it's actually coming from basically Lake Comme all the way down. Now, normally the weather in the Ardennes region, normally here at Spa, it actually comes from the opposite side of the track. It normally comes from behind the grandstand and then makes its way across completely the track. So it comes from the front. And looking actually down where the pit straight is, there's a huge black cloud in the background, which makes me think that it is getting either cloudier or it is going to rain towards the end of the race. If it is going to rain to the end of the race, I hope so, because everyone is going to be spinning off and it's going to be like Torval and Dean on Dancing on Ice. But there we are. Aurelian leads the way. Jerry in second, Harry there in third, lap 18 out of 22, and it's getting noticeably cloudy now out on track. And normally, when it's like this, 5 minutes I normally give it for rain.
If he's going on a set of mediums, it might mean there's some rain. James Head 2023, ladies and gentlemen. But I know I do give you a bit of a slagging here and there. I totally agree. I think with clouds like this, we're only a matter of time away from some rain. And I don't really think any of these guys are prepared for it, because those medium tyres are going to be falling off a little bit. I know I say this word, I know I say this phrase about a billion times a stream. This could be a really interesting end of the race.
It will be a very interesting end to the end of the race, and yeah, he might slag me off alongside me in the commentary box, but at least we're going to be recoupling at the end of the night with Love Island starting in about an hour's time. But Aurelian now coming
Never
through...
say that again.
Aurelian now coming through Stavelo. He is now the virtual Bert Ballander. He's now the virtual safety car, and we are about to get going once again for action here at Belgium, and it is very, very cloudy now in the Ardennes region with Aurelian. Again, just a little bit of lag kicking in there from the Frenchman, if I'm not mistaken. He is the Aurelian. Aurelian leads the way. Jerry in second. You can tell it's not my nice. Aurelian leads. Jerry in second. Harry in third. Now, when's he going to decide to go? I think on the exit of Blanchimont is normally the place where drivers tend to go. Maybe into the bus stop chicane. No, and actually on the exit of Blanchimont is correct, because he absolutely floors it now down into the bus stop chicane. James Hay gets a prediction right, and now we're back underway here in Belgium, and Aurelian now is under pressure from Jerry, and Jerry's got a really good restart. He's disposed of Harry very quickly there early on. It's 4/10 of a second coming across the line for the race lead, but Aurelian leads the way. Jerry there in second, Harry there in third, as Dara Smith gets a little bit of a snap in the background there with Freddie getting the move done into 13th. Newt already on the back of Namsko as well, but Aurelian leads the way. Jerry in second, and these front two are actually pulling clear of the rest of the field at this stage. Volakongan through on Dara and Keane through on Ron.
Beauty of a move from Volakongan right up the inside into turn 1, heading up Radion. Dino has a bit of a run on Will Murdoch, but Will, using a bit of battery, is going to survive here. Great start from Arian, or apologies, that's not how you pronounce it at all, but brilliant start. And Jerry, though, he's got the launch and he's kept with him.
Yeah, he's kept with him, and he's got really good pace in this Williams at this stage, and of course he was looking like he was pulling away from Harry just before the safety car came out as well. Aurelian leads the way, Jerry there in second, Harry there in third. Now I'm going to have to take off my glasses to try and see if it is going to rain. Rowan has got the move done on Devon. I think that's around the outside of Bruxelles.
It's really, really dull in these last few laps. It has definitely got very, very dark here. Whether the sun is setting, but it certainly is getting a little bit dull. Aurelian is how that's pronounced. I do apologise. My French is not tip-top. Noah then as well, James. He's got a bit of a decent run under pressure from Futzbab, but I'm just gonna say a little bit of a prediction now. I can see Noah finishing on the podium in this one.
Yeah, maybe so. Harry obviously got that 3-second penalty. Stefano looks like he's struggling in terms of the pace. You might be right there. As Rowan is on the back of Dino, running down the straight in towards Blanchimont in excess of 210 miles an hour. Already for Rowan through Blanchimont. He's going to have a sensational run in towards the bus stop chicane. He's not going to be close enough. Is Dino going to be close enough to the back of Will Murdoch? No. Rowan decides to dive it down the inside line. There's a mistake there from Futzbab in the back in the foreground as well. And Rowan's being spun there by the Red Bull of Devon, who falls out wide. Namsko in that stage as well. So Rowan there in 9th. Devon's still in 10th, Nam's still there in 11th, and he's going to have to fight for every single position down the inside line, in towards the source, tries to get the job done. These set of softs are no greater than the mediums as well. It's side by side in the foreground of Sean. Will Murdoch and Dino nearly side by side in towards the Rouge and Rally on. Dino backs out. Aurelian still considerably from Harry on this lap, but now Will Murdoch is under Will Murdoch is pressurising Footspab in toward the bus stop, in toward the Lecombe, tries to get the job done, and the Ferrari just about hangs on. Dino tries to switch back to perfection, but can't manage it.
Oh, Will Murdoch, he always is looking for the move. You can take the immediate overtakiness out of Will, but you can never fully take it. Volakongan gets past Fede.
Oh,
now
Rowan's in the background. Rowan around in the background, gets caught on the outside curb, coming out of Jackie Hick's corner, and Rowan is round right out of the back of the field as well. That is disappointing from him, and I thought it might have been to do with the outside curb, and it is indeed. I thought it was actually raining out on track for a second there, but Rowan is round in the background and lost it by himself. No other contact involved in that, and Rowan now out of the points and out of the race.
Oh, it's horrible for Rowan. Oh, Dara Smith as well, and Fede. There was a comment that Dara Smith was hit by Fede earlier, but they've both had separate mistakes. No rain out on the circuit now. I think we will be dry to the end as we're heading on to the penultimate lap.
Devon right on the back of Nuth as well. This is further down the field to 10th, 11th and 12th position. Volakongan right on the back of these guys as well. And Devon absolutely sends it to the inside line. And Nuth has actually got damage as a result of that as well. So not sure what's happened to Nuth.
Oh, he does.
Left side and plate damage, I think, on the car. Red Bull of Devon nearly going off the track there, certainly is. Now Kian all of a sudden, from starting at the back of the field and the safety car, the sun now beginning to come back out here at Belgium, so clearly taking us for absolute mugs here in the weather commentary box. Kian there throwing his into 12th and Nuth down into 13th, so Nuth, I can only assume, got caught up maybe with a little bit of trading damage. Oh, and he's nearly off into the wall. Oh, and he is off into the wall. Coming through a Rouge and Rally on Nuth. That's a heavy hit into the wall from the German. And the German out of the race. He was looking good. He had a mistake. I wonder if he had actually a little bit of contact maybe with Rowan rejoining the circuit, but he was nowhere near if that was the case. But Nuth out the race, Rowan out the race, even size in the pit lane as well. Aurelian still out in front, and absolute chaos here in Belgium.
Horrible accident for Newton there. That's a nasty one, because he's really being one of the better drivers today, I would have said, but that damage just costing him a little bit. Jerry is pushing as much as he can to a race leader, both on very similar ERS. Jerry, now the DRS, may have a go. Will Murdoch as well is fighting for his life in the mid-pack here. He's Dino right behind. Will does have that penalty. Namsko and Volakongan both back into the points. However, Namsko is still attacking where Volakongan's in a bit of no man's land. This should be an excellent final lap.
It should be an excellent final lap indeed, and Namsko has got sights set on Dino, but he hasn't got the pace down the straight. Dino looks like he's actually pulling away visibly down the straight as well. So Dino's in there in 8th position, Namsko there in 9th. This is all going to come down to the wire here in Belgium. On to the final lap we will go, and Aurelian leads the way from Jerry there in 2nd, Harry there in 3rd, and Aurelian all of a sudden looks like he's put on the afterburners, because it's now 7/10 per second coming across the line. Backing everyone up though, goes very deep, Jerry into all the source, and just about messes up his run through nearly Tony Hawk's spot on the curb, like Dara Smith and TML in the social race. But Aurelian leads the way. Jerry there in 2nd, Harry there in 3rd, and I think that mistake from Jerry going too deep into the source has cost him.
I think it has. He got on the curb, got it a little bit sideways, and yeah, it's cost him here, I believe, unless there is a late run into the bus stop. He's not got him into Lecombe. Footspab gets past Noah, that's for 5th spot. And Footspab now is looking to try and get past Stefano, who's really struggling in this latter stages of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, both of them in the same team. I can only assume both of them in the same party as well, because that was well choreographed there from Noah. Getting out of the way on Footspam in 5th position. Might not be a team's championship, but certainly it looks like they're working together as a team, even though they're in an individual championship here in PSGL. Aurelian, though, leading the way. Jerry in 2nd. Jerry has got one last opportunity, and that is probably down through Blanchemont into the bus stop chicane. Otherwise, this is looking like Aurelian's race. He's had to do it the hard way in the end. I wouldn't say it's totally dominant from his perspective. He's had pressure from Jerry, who has looked quicker than him at parts of the race. But Aurelian has absolutely managed this very, very well indeed. This is going to be his 2nd win of the season as well if he does pick up the race win here. And Jerry, at Establo, has got absolutely no chance to gain back at him. So this is now the Frenchman's day. Aurelian coming now through Blanchemont. His first race here in PSF2 as part of the Shazoo team. And it's going to be his first win as well. There is side-by-side in the background. No one will Murdoch. I think they're going to go side-by-side into the bus stop. We'll have to cut across, though, to Aurelian. Coming through the final corner. On the run to the line comes the Ferrari. And Aurelian takes the win here in Belgium from Jerry there in second, Harry there in third. And he doesn't hang on to that third position. In the end, he's fifth because Stefano and Futzbauer, as a result of no penalties, there to the line in third and fourth. Dino, I think, was side-by-side with Noah to the line as well. 400th of a second separating them. Aston Martin in the end with the AI getting past there on Noah, even though on our graphic it's showing as Noah there in 16 or there in 7th. Yellow flag is for Darren Smith, who was spun out the final corner with no front wing. He's trooped on, bless him. The Irishman there in 15th position comes across the line with no front wing. What an absolute chaos race here in Belgium. Certainly living up to its expectations, the longest track on the calendar. Dino takes driver of the day, awarded by the in-game fans. But there might only be one driver of the day, and that might be the man who takes, of course, the win in P1. It is Shazoo Aurelian. And Aurelian, his first race, Evan, as part of the Shazoo team, and it's his first win.
Yeah, excellent race by the dubbed new driver from me and you, but no, what a performance from him. Usually in races like that, they look a little bit uncomfortable at the end with a safety car, but he looked very good. Jerry took the race lead, I believe, only once in this Grand Prix off him. And yeah, it was excellent from Aurelian. It's a fantastic performance. Really good from Jerry as well, though. First podium in the F2 tier. He has earned it.
He has earned it indeed, as it is now very sultry -3 here. Not in my bedroom, and certainly outside. -3 here in the northeast of England, but out on top, it is Shazoo Aurelian who warms the cockles of everybody's hearts, I've got to say, with that race win. Taking it out on track, of course, a fantastic win. His second race as a second win of the season. Of course, Silverstone coming before that as well, and the Frenchman takes it out on top. In the end, another lap, Jerry might have had it, but his ERS usage and that mistake was the source that cost him. Jerry finishes second. Watch out for him next race. Stefano there in third. Futzbauer there in fourth from 10th on the grid. He did very well indeed. A bit of an underdog performance there from the VAR man. Harry there in fifth. Unfortunately, third out on track. Down in fifth there with the penalty. Noah at sixth. Dino in seventh. Namsco in eighth. Bolakongren in ninth. Will Murdoch top 10. Then Devon and Ron ran up the top 12 with Key and Freddy. Darius Smith the finishers. Nuth, Rowan, who do get classified in the results, they DNF'd along with Schumacher, Mitchie and Sapala, who didn't even make it through the first lap.
Will Murdoch saying in the chat as well, his penalty can get removed, and I have to say, I'm very thankful for that, because I don't think you saw it, because busy commentating on that, but Will Murdoch, what a move around the outside on the last lap. It was a drag race to the line, and Will, he's an unbelievable driver on his day, and it was one of his better performances here in the F2 Championship.
Oh, we didn't see it. We didn't see it. The absolute capability of me being a director, obviously, on track in terms of cameras. So I can only tune in. We probably would have missed the Aurelian coming across the line to win the race if we saw that move. So apologies to Will Murdoch for not seeing that on the stream. But what we can do, though, Evan, is try and attempt to get our top 3 in. If we can.
We can attempt to. We certainly can. Harry was very keen for a post-race interview. Unfortunately, though, does have that penalty, so he won't finish on the podium. We can try and get them in. We certainly can. We will see if they will join.
For some reason there, I thought people had joined us, but then I looked and it was Aiden and Jess and another commentary booth. I thought they'd actually joined our commentary box for some reason there. You can tell that it's not been my night at all, can you? Honestly.
Me and James, we've had a good time. That's all that matters.
We have had a good time. We have had a good time indeed. Hopefully, as I say, we can speak to the top 3 out on track. Obviously, Harry coming across there. Harry's actually in the waiting room, which is interesting.
He obviously fancies it. Oh.
But he said he can't get his penalty removed, apparently, because I think he might have come on too many corners.
I'm not sure if we can legally interview him, and for some reason it won't let me at Aurelian, so... Oh, there we go. Now it's working. And James, who was it? Stefano who came P3?
It was indeed.
It was, yes.
Terrible. Harry has just literally heard that he's in the waiting room. Yeah, he is in the waiting room. We can give an interview to him if needs be. He did finish third out on track, so technically he did
Look,
finish on the
look.
podium.
If we get none of the podium, we'll bring Harry in. We'll have someone at least. If none of the podium can join Harry, we shall bring you in, sir.
We shall. Yeah, we'll bring him in. We'll bring him in. In fact, actually, we'll wait for a little bit of response first from Jerry and Aurelian and Stefano, the top three. Obviously, with penalties included in that as well. Aurelian is typing, so hopefully we can get him. There we
Yeah,
are.
we
So
are
we
going
are
to get him in.
getting. Yeah, we are getting the man who finished in P1 at least, and also the man it looks like who finished in P5.
Yes, by the looks of things, Jerry not happy with the safety car. He's there's been a little bit of a snarky comment gone towards one of the drivers. I'm not saying anything about it, but yeah, doesn't seem to be too happy with the safety car. Probably felt he had it in the bag if it wasn't for that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, well, one of them actually was in. Well, I think he DNF'd in the end, if I'm not mistaken. The person that he's on about. So
Yes, he did. It was yeah, it was an unfortunate race for some, and especially for Keane. He would have liked a lot more after his first race win, but he made that mistake off the line, and yeah, that was
oh,
all. That was the end of proceedings for him.
Aurelian doesn't have the access apparently to the channel.
Oh, that's not good.
That is not good indeed. Can I try and sneak him in if I can? I could call
Um,
him. I could call him, but it means losing you.
how dare you? He should have access.
I remember he did the
If there's a
Silverstone
general,
interview.
is there a general voice channel on PSGL that we could just join? We
There,
could.
there is, but you'll probably get random people in.
Probably we could risk it.
We could, but what about if he doesn't have access to that though?
Oh well, if it's general, everyone in the server has access to it. That's the risk.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look what he's saying. Hang on. Oh, that's only Will Murdoch. It's fine. It is fine. We can do, but then again, probably they'll probably think, oh my god, Evan Dalton's in the general chat. I'll just go and join him.
Yeah, because that's who everyone wants to talk to on their Monday night. Yes, famous PSGL F2 commentator Evan Dalton. Because who wouldn't want to chat to someone? The waiting room, I think it's a general channel.
It is. I think
So,
it's general for everyone.
yeah,
Hang on, can I...
everyone can connect. Yeah, he should have permission because I'm looking at it now. Everyone can join him. Oh, he's here. Hold on, I'll bring him in.
Oh, there we are. Hey, at last. At last. I knew he would come. I knew he would come. We just had to keep the faith. Of course, the man who finished in P1 in the end, it is Shazoo Aurelian. And Aurelian, first of all, can you hear us? Can we hear him is the main thing.
You are on mute, just in case you didn't see.
I hope he can hear us.
So do I.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, there he is.
Hello.
There he
Do you hear me?
is. We can hear you perfectly fine.
Nice.
P1 out on track. First race as part of the Shazoo team in F2. Must be happy.
Yeah, last race I had some bad luck, so yeah, really happy to bounce back with a victory.
Yeah, and obviously I think it's your second win of the season as well after Silverstone a little bit earlier on. Talk us through that race because that, from my perspective, certainly in the commentary box, that didn't seem easy from your perspective.
No, it wasn't. Jerry was pretty fast on the straight, so it was interesting to deal with it. And yeah, I was like 8 tenths ahead after the second sector, but she was really quick in the first one, so he was like 3 tenths behind. So yeah.
Yeah, and obviously Jerry putting that pressure on you after the safety car restart as well. Would it have looked different if this race was a lap longer? Because he was really pushing you right to the end there.
If it was a bit longer,
Yeah.
yeah, he did a mistake into the first corner of the last lap. maybe if if we had another lap, maybe he would have been how I can say, he would have been uh, um, closer to me, but
Yeah.
it's only 22 laps, so it's fine with it.
Exactly. You take the race win in the end, obviously, ahead of Jerry. Evan, coming across to you. Any questions?
Australia, Abu Dhabi, and Austin next. How are those tracks for you? Will you be able to maybe get another win?
Australia, I like it, so I will try to take another podium, and if I can win. And Abu Dhabi, it depends. Sometimes, yeah, I raced. I had like 2 or 3 races on Abu Dhabi, so I know a bit the track. So we will see. I hope another good result on it.
Yeah, sounds really good. Sounds really good indeed. Go and enjoy your evening.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Aurelian. And that, I think, is going to round off our interviews, Mr. Dalton.
I think so. It was good to hear from our race winner, of course. But yeah, very interesting race around Spa. Of course, the French members of the Belgian nation will be very, very happy to see a French winner around Spa.
They will, and unlike what we said, I think at the start of the stream, at least Aurelian is not a new driver coming into. into the
Aurelian, if you're still with us, me and James, we didn't know who you were at the start of the stream. that was pretty bad.
Yeah, because I wanted to put Aurelian last week, but I tried to do it on my phone, but when at the moment to pay, it I had like a bug, and after when I did it on the PS, uh, it said me the name is already taken. So I tried a few days after, and it was fine.
I'm actually glad, because it certainly sounds a lot better than Axie, put it that way. But that, I think, is going to round us off neatly, of course, for tonight. A big thank you, of course, to Mr. Aurelian for joining us in the commentary box for the interview. As Evan has already mentioned, final 3 rounds of the championship to go. Australia, Abu Dhabi, and then Austin, Texas, of course, with Austin and UAE getting swapped, of course, for the final 2 rounds of the championship. Namsco obviously scoring the points as well, Evan. It puts the pressure firmly on everyone else in behind. Australia next. What can we expect from going down under?
It's going to be a completely different story to this week. That's what I feel. It is, of course, technically a straight circuit. Half is public road, half is a permanent racing facility in Albert Park. The walls are close, the corners are difficult, traction can be a bit tricky, and I think it should be an exciting race. I think it'll be a bit different than this week. It'll be more strategy based, but it should be as good as ever. And the PSF2 Championship, it's spicing up towards the end. You don't want to miss it, folks.
Yeah, definitely not. Indeed, of course, Australia, round 9 of the championship. We go down under, where men go and women plunder. And that's pretty much as you're going to get out of PCF1 getting started on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, folks, for all you know what, mere fans who love a bit of PCF1 action, it's back, folks, with Mr. George Morgan, and I believe it's Jack Cannan who is joining him. So you don't want to miss it. That is on Wednesday, I believe. Starts at 7, if I'm not wrong.
You are definitely correct, I think, indeed. I'm just literally adding the calendar so people can see as well on the stream. It will help if I've got the right thing. And there we go. People can now see the PCF1 calendar as well. Of course, I'm not going to be covering the PCF1 action because I'm not too good.
We wish we were.
Yeah, we wish we were. We wish we were in the shoes of Mr. Morgan and Mr. Cannan. But unfortunately, we're not talented enough.
No. And I'm also not ginger. I'm Irish, but not ginger.
Terrible, terrible. But yeah, Australia actually is the round 1 opener for the PCF1 calendar. Abu Dhabi and then Austin, Texas follows the PC platform, and then we go pretty much mirrored actually to some of the races that we've had this season on PS: Saudi Arabia, Brazil, Spain, Singapore, France, Portugal, Austria, Azerbaijan, China, Mexico, and Bahrain, and that is all the way through to the 19th of April, the final race of the season on the 19th of April. No break week as well for Easter because it actually falls between China and Mexico, which is not too bad at all, and hopefully people will be stuffing themselves with cream eggs by Easter as well for the PCF1 calendar. We are going to end it off here though, before we waffle on any further. We are going to end off tonight's live stream. A big thank you to Mr. Evan Dalton once again for joining me in the commentary box as always. Always a pleasure, and hopefully not the last time that this is going to be had this season either. We've still got 3 rounds to go: Australia, Abu Dhabi, and the United States and Austin, Texas. We are going to leave you very, very soon indeed, and I should put my camera on so you can oh, I'm actually doing the wrong thing. Here we go. Now you can probably see me and my absolutely terrible hair that obviously needs a wash and obviously needs a bit of a haircut as well. But we are going to be back, of course, next week for Australia. We look forward to seeing you then. Until then, I've been James Head. He's been Evan Dolphin. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time in PSF2, goodbye.
Thanks, guys.
This broadcast was brought to you by GT Omega, proudly supporting PSGL.